whereas other use of force, if I understand your question, are things that are likely committed under Article 2 to the President's commander-in-chief powers.
I have no idea what you just said, Mr. Hendershot. Let's try it again. Tell me when the President has to go to Congress to get permission to use military force.
Senator Kennedy is about to cut right through the fluff. This hearing isn't just another D.C. formality. Today, Senator Kennedy is demanding straight talk about who decides when America goes to war. Instead of the usual legal tap dance, he pushes for a clear answer on presidential war powers. And, let's be honest, when lives and national security are at stake, the last thing we need is someone hiding behind fancy words. If a nominee can't spell out what the Constitution says, how can we trust them to defend it? Kennedy keeps pressing, calling out long-winded explanations that go nowhere. There's a reason. We need leaders who stand on principle, not ones who dodge the question. When real-world consequences are on the line, only clear, confident answers will do. If you think accountability matters, hit subscribe, because the next time someone's in the hot seat, we'll be here to cover it. No evasion allowed.
When does the President have to get permission of the United States Congress to use military force?
Well, Senator Kennedy, as I was discussing with Ranking Member Durbin, I do want to be careful about hypotheticals in terms of prejudging.
It's not a hypothetical. I'm asking what the Constitution says. When does the President of the United States have to get permission from Congress to use military force?
Generally, Senator, my understanding is the divisions between Article 1 and Article 2 distinguish between the war powers, which are under Article 1 and require congressional consent. Again, talking in great generalities, whereas other use of force, if I understand your question, are things that are likely committed under Article 2 to the President's commander-in-chief powers.
I have no idea what you just said, Mr. Hendershot. Let's try it again. Tell me when the President has to go to Congress to get permission to use military force.
Senator, I think is when, because the text of the Constitution, Article 1, talks about declarations of war, those would be circumstances where the President would, in a general sense, and use of force that is not war under the commander-in-chief power, I think those are under Article 2 without the consultation of Congress.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude. I just don't understand what you said. Mr. Jones. Let's suppose the mayor of a city strike that. Let's suppose the mayor of a city goes to his or her city council and gets a rule freezing rents. You with me?
Yes, Senator.
Freezing all rents.
Yes, Senator.
Forever and a day. Well, no, let's make it even more interesting. Reducing rents by 20%, because housing is a problem, right? Cost of housing. Let's suppose to try to help people with housing costs, the city, mayor and council, uses its police power under its state constitution as recognized by the federal constitution. So we're going to lower our rents by 20%. And as a result, because of the cost of insurance and electricity and that sort of thing, about half of the landlords in the city just say, look, we're going to have to default on our mortgage. Can constitutionally, can the city do that?
Well, Senator, I think it could depend. I do think the city could have some ability to freeze rents. But I think you would have to look at the
Why isn't that a taking?
Well, it certainly could be a taking. And
when does it become a taking? At what point?
Well, I think it would have to be, you'd have to initially look at the impact, the financial impact on the taking of what could amount to a property.
Let's suppose, that's fair, yes, sir. Let's suppose 40% of the landlords will default on their mortgage. Have you reached the point of a taking or not? And how do you determine when you reach the point of a taking?
Well, again, I think it could depend, but there would have to be a showing that, what the financial impact was, and I think.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, we just have so little time. I understand that you have to have a showing. Tell me what the rule is.
Well, I think the rule is if you're taking property without, the government, I should say, taking property for a legitimate government purpose, I think you can only do that by compensating the owner of the property.
So
Generally,
any freeze on rent is a act of eminent domain? Is that
well,
what you're saying?
not necessarily, Senator. I think in your hypothetical, you were, at least as I understood it, we're talking about a financial impact, not just freezing it at the moment, but then going on down the
Okay.
road.
In the hypothetical I gave you, who's going to win if the landlord sued the city or the landlords?
Well, I think, again, it would depend on the length.
You're not going to give me an answer, are you?
Well, I think it could depend. I know that's a very lawyerly answer, Senator. but
Yes,
I
sir, it
think-
is,
I
very
think it
hard.
would depend on.
Judge, let me ask you a question in the few minutes I have. Tell me under what circumstances the state legislature can draft a statute that makes a distinction that classifies people on the basis of race.
Senator, I think, Chair Grasso, may I answer?
Yes, and then we'll go to Senator Goins.
Thank you, Senator. I think the circumstances would depend on the specifics of United States Supreme Court
I
case
know.
law and
Just give me
the
some
state
examples.
constitution.
Just give me
at
some
issue.
examples.
Senator, on the basis of race, I don't think, I think in United States Supreme Court has held that there should be no classification.
No, they've just said you got to have a compelling reason.
That is true, Senator.
So tell me what would be a compelling reason.
Senator, as we sit here today, I cannot give you a compelling reason.
Okay, I appreciate your honesty. Thanks, Mr.